All right, Unit 8 Statistics. We're talking about lesson number 6, Measures of Center. Your objective is to understand the concepts of measure of center and then be able to find the mean, median, and mode of a data set. Your essential question is, in what other ways can you describe the average of a data set? Measure of center is a measure that describes the typical value of a data set. Mean, median, and mode are all measures of center. So the measure of center is a way of summarizing the data to provide key details or center of points of that data. The mean is a measure of the center in which the average of the data is taken. So the data set is the sum. You add up all the data points, and then you divide by the number of data values or points that you have. So the mean can be thought of as determining like a fair share of that data. And so mean and average are interchangeable and mean the same thing. I have 3 gumball machines with gumballs, and I want to make it so that they each have equal amounts. Gumball A has 11, B has 5, and C has 8. So what is that fair share? Well, if I take 3 from A and put them in B, I'd have 8 in all 3 of them. So 8 would be that fair share, making them equal or even. Let's look at number 1. Mr. Perdito's class has 8 students, and he has a list of their different shoe sizes, and we are going to calculate the mean. So the first thing I'm going to do is add up all my data. So when I add up those numbers, I get 88. We have 8 students, so I'm going to divide by 8, which gives me 11. So I have the mean for the shoe sizes is 11. Number 2, we have some data on the ages of people in line to vote. And here I'm going to add up my data points, and when I do that, I get 490. Remember, we add and then we divide by how many we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to divide by 10 and I get 49. Number 3. The following data set represents the number of times the phone rings when callers contact Comcast Cable Customer Service. So they gave us a nice frequency table and the number of rings and how many times. So the first thing I got to do is list that data in order. So I have 2 people it rang 4 times, 1 person it rang 5. So I have to list that data for each one. So I have 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8, 8, 9. So to find the mean, we're going to add up the sum of our data points, which gives me 50, and then I'm going to divide by how many we have, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 50 divided by 8 gives me 6 and 25 hundredths. Median is another way to describe the measures of center, and the median is the middle number of that data. And it can be found by first you take your data and you order it from least to greatest, and then you determine which number is in the middle. So when you have an odd number of data points, you can easily figure out by looking at it which one is that center number. When you have an even number of data points, you have to figure out which 2 numbers fall in that center, and then you're going to take the average of those two numbers to get the median number of the data points. Looking at number 4, we're going to determine the median of our data that represents the number of inches of snowfall within a 2-week period. First, we need to order that data from least to greatest. I have an even number of data points, 14, so I can cross out 6 and 6, which calculates those are the 12, leaving me 2 in the center, 1 and 1 5/10. To find that median of those two numbers, I got to calculate the average. So I'm going to add up and then divide by 2. So 2 5/10 divided by 2 will give me 1 25/100. 5, our data represents the number of broken cookies in a test of 9 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. We're going to go ahead and order our data from least to greatest. I have 9 data points, so I just need to calculate which one is in the middle. So our median is 1. 6, we have a dot plot that represents the number of pieces of candy in an individual candy bag serving. We're going to take that information from the dot plot and list them in order from least to greatest. And then I have an even number of data points, 10. So I'm going to look at the two middle ones, crossing off the first 4 and the last 4, and I have 22 and 24. Well, if we add those up and divide by 2, we're going to get 23. You can also notice when you have numbers that are close together, what number comes in between 22 and 24? 23. Number 7, I'd like you to pause the tape and try it on your own and come back when you're ready. Okay, welcome back. We have a middle school and they held a walkathon and they charted their top 5 finishers, the number of laps. So we are going to first calculate that mean. I'm just going to take that data points and add them up, and I get 163. I have 5 data points, so I'm going to divide by 5. So 163 divided by 5 gives me 32 and 6/10. B, we're going to do the median, which is that middle number, and what's nice about this data is they have it in order already going up. So I'm not going to rewrite it. I can go ahead and just look at that and see that since there's an odd number, Jose is in my middle. So 33 is my median. C is asking us to describe why you think the mean and median are closely related. Well, if you look at my spread, I have 30 to 35. I don't have a lot of variability in that data, so therefore my mean and median are going to be close. The larger the spread, the farther apart those numbers will be. Think back to lesson 2 when we talked about distribution. So when you're looking at a graph, when we have something that's normally skewed and it's symmetric, the mean, median, and mode are going to be that same number, or very close to being that same number. When we have skewed data, if it's negatively skewed or skewed to the left, our mean is going to be a smaller number than our median. When our data bell shape is positively skewed or skewed to the right, our mean is going to be greater than our median. That completes our lesson 6 on measure of centers. If you have any questions about this video or run across any questions during your practice with Khan Academy or IXL, please make sure to post those in the Google Classroom. Complete your exit ticket before moving on to 8.7. And one final thought, we talked about the median, we talked about the mean in this video, we've talked about range, that spread in prior videos. One thing we didn't talk about was the mode. And mode is the data set values that occur the most. So if something repeats, then it could be the mode, the one that repeats the most often. So in a data set, you can have no mode because none of the numbers repeat. You can have one mode where only one set of number repeats, or you can have more than one mode. But you're looking for what repeats. The most popular is how I like to remember it. Thanks for watching.